What's up, anime enthusiasts and Gnosia fans alike? Welcome to our top five. No, shh. What's good, anime enthusiasts and Gnosia fans alike? Welcome to our top 10 favorite scenes from the Gnosia anime. We weren't going to do this for referral, but one of you lovely commenters, Diana, right? Whatever, dirty Diana, yeah, sure. Uh, Posed a question, posed it to JD. JD was like, cool, and we're like, all right, here we are. We got our favorite scenes from Gnosia. Now we're gonna give it. Now it's pretty open ended. And I'm gonna give y'all a caveat. This list is kind of hard to do, especially for an anime like Gnosia, because when you pick out a scene, you're like, okay, I like this. This is my favorite. But then when you realize it's connected to another scene, and you're like, oh wait, I like that too because they're both connected. And then you realize they're connected to another grander thing. You're like, oh man, now I like all three of them. I can't rank them. Well, unfortunately, that's your favorite kind of segment, theme, idea, whatever it is. Like, for instance, like on my list, I'll say like for an honorable mention for me, I like episode 1 at the end. SQ does bad end, but then you realize, well, I did like the fact that when SQ realized that she won, she just puts her hand around Yuri. Is like, yeah, we won, didn't we? We did a good thing, didn't we? And then you see her cute little heart turn into a skull, and you're like, oh, wait, no, no, no. And you're like, yes, yes, the best character won. Anyway,
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this shit was way too hard. Each individual scene is just the sum of like a beautiful foundation that makes it so much more appealing at the top. I personally just went with full sequences. Like, um, for example, oh god, I can't give an example. It's hard, yo.
okay, well, let's go ahead and get into the list. For me, my 10th favorite scene, and unfortunately, I'll say this for a lot of, I guess, tens or whatever, and honorable mentions, they're like really one-off things that you can like be like, oh yeah, that's kind of funny, that's cool, and share they're tied to like major things, but isolate, they're kind of cool. So my number 10, Shaming showing off the grovel for the first time ever in episode 8. It's a funny scene. It really made me go WTF, and I had to like reboot my systems in order to like understand what's going on, and then afterwards it was like, all right, whatever, man. Which then of course led to the unthinkable that happened at the end of the episode.
Yo, that's a solid pick, man. It's hard because that's 10. That's 10. That's at the bottom.
Yeah, yeah.
It just shows you how much there is, yeah.
Honestly, I'm even though I saw your list, I don't know if you just changed it in the last minute, but I'm waiting for you to say one scene, and if you don't say it, I'm gonna call you out for
Oh god.
it.
Okay. My 10th favorite scene in all of Gnosia, and it did change, I'm not gonna lie, is the Stella and Shigamichi confession at the end of episode 6, man.
Yeah, that's a cute scene. I won't blame you. It's the classic Japanese confession scenes that you see in all the other anime, and finally, Shigemichi gets to confess his love to Stella, which she sort of accepts. But we all know this ain't the loop that we're gonna stay in. Shigemichi's forever lost.
Yes, sir. I just love the build up to it all, where it's like Shigamichi, who's often sort of like the joke of like these loops and like the anime, ends up having like a genuine connection with Stella after she compliments him one time. That is a little sad. Low key, if this was a real person, I'd be like, damn, bro, you fell in love over that? But I think what really makes it is Stella like rejecting the feelings on the principle of her not being quote unquote human and then getting that thought rejected, and then her being like, okay, I can have friends at least, right? It's an amazing sequence of events. And that's what I mean by like full sequences instead of like just scenes, because they build, man. It feels so good.
For me, number 9, it's another isolated event, but it happens at the very end. And I'll say this right now. I could have made a top 10 list of everything that was about SQ just to troll all of you, but I'm a good person. So don't worry. For all intents and purposes, my 2 favorite characters, SQ and Manon, both of them get only 1 spot on this list. And this spot is dedicated to Manon, where Manon flips off Rockio at the end. It's a funny scene that happens. Manon gets burned by Gina, which then Rockio says something, and then Mana flips off Rockio. But it's not so much as a normal middle finger. It's like when Manon does it, you see this like holographic skull appears. That's a nice attention to detail. It's a nice touch. You hear the static and everything. That's cute. I like it.
No, and you would never think to see anything like that coming from SQ of all people. Bright, bubbly SQ going like full crash out, being like, fuck you, Rockio. So awesome, dude. My number 9 is actually going to be a highlight. You know, we didn't get a lot of gameplay going on throughout the anime. It sort of fell to the wayside, but I think some plays need to be appreciated a lot. And I think Rakio in episode 6, his fake guardian angel play made that whole episode so perfect. Because you can tell the second he walks into the room after eliminating somebody, he's like, Yuri, I got your ass. And the demon mode appears, bruh. Just watching it, Yuri break down as he just can't deny anything Rakio is saying without looking suspicious. Just beautiful work from him. Oh my god.
How it feels to go up against an immovable force that really caught you off guard and has blocked off all exits. You can't escape. You just have to accept defeat. And no matter how much you squirm or scramble in order to save yourself, you just sink deeper into the pit. It's Rockio, second best character. Woo!
Indeed, yo. He was loved in this show.
Alright, so moving on to number 8. For scenes that catch you off guard, especially for like an anime only, this one will always stick with me. And of course, all the other scenes that Yuri has with this particular person in a certain loops of this magnitude is Setsu Gnosia reveal to Yuri in episode 4. It's that normal thing to where, yes, my mentor has brought me into everything. He has taught me all the things. Yes, thank you for having this conversation with me. Yes, we're going to get through with these things. And it's then when Setsu tells Yuri, hey, remember that each and every loop, the parameters change. Especially when eyes go red, go Gnosia. And it's that slow turn with the wave and everything that just fills Yuri with despair. It's like, oh my god, I just revealed everything. I poured out my heart to somebody who's just going to eliminate me. I am now the easiest target ever. And then, of course, why is Gina just in the cut listening in on everything? And then later on, Gina gets axed because Yuri saved Setsu in that whole thing. That's hilarious.
Bro, and I love how performative Setsu is when they do the heel turn, right? Literal heel turn. And oh my god. It's definitely there to teach Yuri the lesson of, oh, you really need to be cautious. I don't really want to take advantage of you. I'm telling you this for your sake, right? And then when they go in to the next meeting day, Yuri still being alive. I feel like Setsu really wanted to drill that lesson in, right? Just to be like, hey, don't bias yourself towards me. You don't know what could happen, right? It was just so extra just for them to defend each other in the meeting. It's so much fun. Low-key, we're going to have to loop back to that later. But my number 8 ended up being Chippy self-sleeping, actually. There's going to be a few of these like this, where it's like, oh, the Gnosia surrenders, right? And I think this scene is the first scene we get where you realize, oh, The Gnosia, despite wanting to eliminate humans during the night, are still really just themselves, right? And even while Chippy is like, okay, there's not really a way out of this, I'm gonna go to bed. He's still like cheering on a distressed Yuri, who's distressed for reasons unknown, and telling him, hey man, good luck. It's such a great centering point and really establishes the baseline for all the other Kenosha reveals later.
Yeah, even though that all these characters can be, your enemies, they still are who they are deep down. Like, sure, like SQ will call herself cute little SQ and all that nonsense. And then in the next thing, they'll turn around and really charm you into liking her and then controlling you at that point. And that's where Manon comes in. But at the same time, both the SQs, they still have that same bubbly personality, and they'll still like call you cute little pet names and be with you and interact with you. But it's that small little point of they are my enemy, but they're also kind of not my enemy because of the fact that just because they're Gnosia doesn't mean they'll truly be my enemy, and they're just like mindlessly doing one thing that either A, they don't understand, or B, they can't control. But speaking of people who just can't control themselves, my number 7, Shigemichi versus Jonas in that whole auto chess battler scene. How the animators have fun with this. You're telling me that Shigemichi hits that challenging JoJo pose to fight for Stella, fight for Stella, and then they go through the whole thing. You get the whole action sequences. Then you have Remnant in the background doing the typical cliche anime, the telling how powerful Shigemichi is, and then how much of a legendary that Jonas is, and then play by play their moves and everything, while you have the other people who don't really understand what's going on, being Yuri, Setsu, and the others. They're just like, what is going on? I don't understand. And then Jonas winning at the end, being like, yes, I am the greatest. Even as Gnosia, I am powerful. And then all the others go like, what did you just say? Cold sleep.
So accurate. If you've ever tried to show your parents or like somebody much older how to play like StarCraft or League of Legends, a lot of it just looks like random gook on the screen. And I was in that same spot watching them play WTF even more. And it's really emblematic of Jonas to like declare his victory in the JoJo's pose and be like, I could win because I am Kenosha. That's such a him way to go out.
Bro exposed himself. He won a battle, but not the war.
Exactly, man. For my 7, I'm actually going to follow up with the scene that happens almost immediately after in the episode, being Otome, Yuri, and Setsu all confronting Xiaoming, who's locked in his room, and Otome's lecture on what it means to be human, which is just the nature of communication, right? Xiaoming's telling Otome, hey, your doctor only cares about you so long as you show progress towards intellectualization, right? And he's a negative man here. But Otome's like, okay, but it could also not be like that. And like things could be good, you know what I mean? And then Setsu, being Setsu, is like, hey, everybody's trying to like live their lives and stuff. If you're not gonna take this serious, you gotta like get out, dude, right? And they really express the seriousness of just how much is at stake for people to chase their dreams, even in this dangerous situation. It really touches your heart there, yo. I loved it. Oh, and then Sean Ming being like, man, fine, and revealing that he's Kenosha and that they should have just kicked him out when he asked. It's great sequence, yeah.
Charming will still forever be on at the bottom of my character tier list.
Whoa, wait, anime Sean Ming at the bottom?
Yeah, of course.
Over who? Or under who?
A whole bunch of people. I don't know. He's kind of fighting for that bottom spot with Chippy, to be honest.
Oh god, that's actual trenches tier to be honest. I don't think anybody could be under Chippy.
Oh yeah, this scene was good. I didn't. It was touching, but unfortunately, at the end, they were just talking to Sha Ming, who eventually gives up. But it's the Sha Ming slash Otome relationship that's going on. So, there is that connection that'll pull him out of it. Speaking of connections, remember how we said where there's a whole bunch of smaller scenes that lead up to one bigger one? This is my number 6. It is at the end of episode 15 to where Yuri just gives a very small, sly smile as he says, "Humans can lie too." And into which Gnosia Remnen just looks in shock and horror as he just lost to somebody who was supposed to tell the truth as they were the engineer. But Yuri ended up in breaking none of the rules himself, playing like actual real life werewolf and just lying outright to get the actual information. And the whole entire episode and previous episode just led up to this one moment to where Yuri had to pull almost every single trick out of the bag and pull a win out of nowhere. And like in Danganronpa, he had to make a backdoor entrance in order to like get to this scenario to where he wins.
No, and this is such an absurd play from Yuri. Honestly, I said it when we first reviewed it, but I never would have thought of that, and I never would have expected like the animator to like break the rules like that. But it's such a satisfying payoff, and it's worked so nicely with Yuri's crooked little smile as he says it. As we push up higher, it becomes harder and harder to pick. However, I think this one is a no-brainer. Yuri strengthening his resolve in the meeting room with everybody except for Setsu, right? As he explains what he's about to do to go back into the past, right? As you know, Setsu disappears at the end, right? To give Yuri a perfect timeline where he can exist, right? And eventually, after a lot of soul searching, he was at the club with Sha Ming. He was looking for a new silver key somewhere in the space station that they were at. He inevitably just has an honest conversation with everybody after thinking it through for a long time and with the help of Rakio. And he just says, "I'm going to chase this Setsu person. Even though none of you have met them, I just want you to know this is like the most important thing to me." Right?
It's really
And
difficult.
that...
No, go ahead.
Oh, go.
No, I was gonna say it's really difficult for Yuri to like really convey his like feelings and emotions and talk about somebody that just does not exist to other people that have actually forgotten, or their memories and ideas of Setsu was erased. And that harrowing experience of like trying to convey that, hey, Setsu was here. I know about Setsu. You kind of know about Setsu, and everybody else goes like, "I don't know what you talking about, man."
Don't ever forget, play softly in the background.
All right, getting up to the top 5 now. Now, for me, number 5 will be the last funny scene, as my top 4 will be nothing but the serious, dramatic, heart-wrenching, and pulling scenes. And that kind of tells you how much I care about some of the more like powerful things that have happened in the anime. But number 5 for me, episode 6, Yuri gets caught by Rakio in 4K. That will always live rent free in my head. Yuri in the fields talking with Kakrushka, having that private conversation. Everything's fine, right? And you think back into the first episode to where when everybody's in the cafeteria and people and Setsu and the others say, yeah, everything outside the meeting doesn't really matter. You just have these conversations. But as you all know, that is BS, because all these other episodes, Gnosia get revealed outside of the meetings. People lie, people just come forward. And then you have Rakio just monitoring Yuri and Kakrushka outside, popping a pill, and then getting into the meeting. It's like, "Hey Yuri," pulls up the feed. "What you and Kakrushka talking about in them fields over there?"
Bro, it's so good. I think I think if you were just chilled out, Rakio wouldn't have a single thing to stand on. But just the confidence conveyed when Rakio says, "I'm the guardian angel," and that guy's an op. Look at this photograph, right? It's too good. Man, the me that is writing this live is conflicted on it. However, this will also be one of my last few funny ones. And it's simply Yuriko's reveal. Yuri, go and be frozen. Oh my god, my icon, my queen is on screen, bro.
I'm body
I
slapping her
was
immediately.
screaming. Oh no, you cannot kill the queen. It's just illegal, I fear.
Oh, if I can't kill her, then I'll just keep body slamming her until I feel satisfied. That's fine with me.
Oh no.
Yuriko is not on the bottom of my character list, I'll say that, but she's on the bottom of my I want to, well, no, at the top of my who I want to like delete from existence tier list.
Damn.
Okay, serious time. So, my number 4 is episode 17, to where Yuri falls into full despair. And I was really waiting for a moment in time to where how would looping so many times and having no progress available or unable to escape really affect Yuri. And episode 17 really conveys it to where, yeah, Yuri is stuck in a loop to where we finally found out he is a bug, and this time he loops when the universe ends, and so he has to be sneaky. He has to figure out a way to break the loop, but he's near the end. There's just like one little thing he needs to figure out, but he can't figure it out. And now on top of that, he has to deal with avoiding himself. And he thinks, okay, this is probably something different. Let me just do all of these other ways to like end my loop, and none of them works. And you see the bags under his eyes he gets rough, he gets ragged, he gets desperate. Everything sets in, and that is like a powerful scene for me.
No, definitely. I couldn't even think about how to feel there, where you try literally everything you can to break a sequence, even up to like your own death, and knowing that you could only ever just go back to that spot over and over and over. Genuinely, it was a genre switch that I was not ready for when I started picking up Gnosia.
They did not have that horror tag, but I understand. If you have a horror tag, then probably half of the anime needs to be horror. This is like only one, like, small little part of it.
Existential horror goes crazy, yo. But speaking of horror, I know you guys were looking for it. We haven't said it yet, but that's just how good the scene is. We're going for Kakrusha's massacre. That little doll started taking out people everywhere, and you swear to God that it was just going to be a normal loop. Okay, half an episode. Nope. Cut, everything starts glitching out. Suddenly you're in a sea of red as the sirens blare and people scream for you to get out of your pod. Oh, Kakrushka's massacre was too good, dude.
The pipe. The pipe. When I look back at it, I want to believe that Kakrushka put the pipe through Setsu's pod. I have to look back through it again. I think it was somebody else's, but I truly want to believe that Kakrushka in particular just wanted Setsu to end in front of Yuri, and I would be like that ecstatic. But I think it was somebody else's. Either way.
No, that was some straight Setsu hate right there. I can confirm right here. Kakrusha did that to Setsu on purpose, bro.
Good. Anyway.
Whoa, whoa.
Alright. Top 3. Number 3. Powerful scene. Sad scene. Comet's solo ending. Comet is now finally the captain of the ship. She's able to sail the seas as she's able to, while she has Yuri. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yuri's no longer there. And the way that Comet gets there is that it's in the loop to where Yuri is also Gnosia, and he helps Comet, who is terrible at lying, lie her way through the meetings. gets saved. Xiaoming has to be sacrificed in order to get there. And Yuri is really like helping the Gnosia side, helping Comet get to her happy end. And of course, Comet is happy about it. But at the same time, the one person who has helped her this whole entire way can no longer be with her. That's sad.
No, it's too real. And I think the fact that Comet can recognize that in that moment, and that Yuri's want to give them like a perfectly satisfactory ending, and that's dashed away, is another part of the tragic part of these loops. It's indescribable how like despair inducing that is.
Yeah, it's funny because we're trying to find the one happy ending for Yuri and Setsu, but at the same time, we are destroying the other happy endings for the other characters in these other loops. There is a many loops to where, yeah, you've gotten so far in your relationship with other people. Maybe you became a significant other. Maybe you helped them out of this terrible situation. But then you realize that, oh, well, I'm not going to be here in this timeline. I hope you have a good one without me.
Just the worst, yo. Okay. Number 3. First of all, if I could have 40 honorable mentions, I definitely would. That's sort of the place where I'm at right now. And I feel like a lot of my favorite scenes actually come early on in the season. This one's no different. Episode 1, in the observatory deck, when Setsu and Yuri are both staring out into space at what used to be Liu An, and Yuri asks, "Do I know you? Or I feel like I know you." Right? And Setsu says, "No, we've only just met, but you should trust that feeling, now and forever." As a game player, man, that's when I knew that this shit was gonna be fire. I knew. And for like all the episodes that would come, even when Setsu was being like maybe unnecessarily mean or not as helpful as they could have been, or even just outright eliminating them in some loops, I like to think that this was the animator's way, Setsu's way of telling us just to be patient and that they will be there in the end. And that shit hits, yo.
Yeah, they were in the end. And then they went through the portal and left you again. I'm sorry.
Oh my god. Get these two haters out of my chat. And you joke, but that's what it was like if you were watching any of the Reddits or like the discussion threads on these episodes. People were turning on Setsu instantly, man, the second they did anything.
I sure did. You know, I was happy with Setsu by episode 4, and then after that, I was like off the Setsu train. I was ready to bring down any other Setsu train that came through me. Like, nah, man, Setsu is on my list. Even after everything, even after they had their happy ending, Setsu, you're still on my list. I'm watching you. Okay, I'm watching you. I won't forget. I won't forget what you did.
I will, Setsu. You're forgiven. Wait, no. I'll never forget what you did either. Thank you for getting us to the end of the game.
Okay, top two. All right, if y'all know me, it's very easy. But it's not my number 1. Saving that one for another one. I love SQ. Number 2, SQ's tears. Literally the whole entire episode 11. Like, man, why can't SQ be like the major love interest, man? Forget about Setsu. Look at SQ, man. Look at her. And listen to her like cry and bawl her eyes out at the end. Like, you feel terrible for leaving SQ. Like, I would hate the Silver Key to pull me out of this one. Like, no. Like, we don't get mana. We just get cute little SQ. We get number 511. It's like the perfect ending, the perfect significant other. And it's gone. It's gone.
Hey, my brother. I hate to say it, but you know you're not Yuri, right?
Hey, self-insert, remember? Self-insert. Yuri is a self-insert for the people that have played the game, and now that you realize it's from a game, and Yuri, quote-unquote, doesn't exist in the game because you are Yuri, then yes, I am the self-insert. I want episode 11, I'm sorry, episode 9 to be the end where I don't loop. That's it. Me and SQ forever.
Man, I have to respect the hustle. I do. I like it. There's a lot to dig into here because SQ is extremely sharp in this episode, right? She goes from like flirting to Yuri to like withdrawing herself when Yuri reciprocates to completely understanding that, oh, I guess it is kind of weird when we don't understand when I'm joking or not, right? To being able to fully detect that they know way too much information and then giving them like a lesson before Yuri has to worry about their existentialism while referring to themselves, right? Setsu is like, not Setsu, SQ is an absolute gem in this episode. And it doesn't stop there. It's an amazing episode.
I'm happy. I can't say anything else on it.
This is number 2, right?
Yeah.
Guys, I'm backed up against the wall. We have so much stuff. Oh no. I can't do it.
It's not that hard, man. Just say it.
It's that hard. It's so hard. It's fine. I'm going to do it. My number 2 of all time is the ending sequence of the final episode when Yuri and Setsu lay together before Yuri starts to disappear.
Aww. That's cute.
Like I said before, man, this is like the don't ever forget moment in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon when you think you're going to lose your partner forever. And that all the effort, all that you've done with them culminates in both your happy ending and their disappearance, right? And it's one of those things you can't really replicate unless you've been through it a lot, right? Saying goodbye permanently is like the hardest thing I've personally ever had to do. Besides, like, no, not even. It's just the hardest thing. And seeing that on screen, even with the caveat of Yuri maybe reappearing at the end, it's brutal. It's a heart wrencher.
I'll be nice.
And I loved it.
I'll be nice. It's that, yes, we have finally went through 20 episodes of chasing you down. We have finally gotten here. We went through another set of loops in order to chase you down. We may have had to go through another one had we not like gotten with Nos to put us directly to where you are. And now that we have finally solved everything, and now we are in this loop to where we can be together. No silver keys attached to us. We're not gonna be absconded somewhere else. We can just be happy and just enjoy this little moment that we have together. By the way, I'm just saying, in this loop, the other characters who are not represented, they're no longer there. So hypothetically, all the other characters died on Li Yuan or they're on Gnosia. So technically, we don't really have a happy ending. And the only main characters that really exist are Rakio, Gina, Yuri, and Setsu. And of course, SQ and Manon, but they're also off into another universe. And Kakrushka as well. Oh, I'm sorry. No, SQ is here. Cute little SQ. Thank God. But Manon and Kakrushka is off somewhere else. So this is the true loop. Chippy, who cares? Comet, who cares? Shigemichi, who cares? Jonas, dead. Stella, kind of there, but you know, it is what it is. Xiaoming, dead. Otome, dead. Remnan, dead. Thank God, that dictator. You know.
My God, bro. Alright, I'm gonna say it, bro. That's not 100% true.
I know.
They could have survived, but I do get it.
In my head canon, that's funny as hell, and I want it. Okay. Number one. JD's already said it. I'm not gonna BS or anything. It's when Kakrushka and Manon go toe to toe with everyone and packs everyone up on that ship. It's amazing. Yeah. Yuri gets his little horror moment. I'm running away. Like slowly dragging that pipe around. Gina gets like put into airspace. Her head pops. Oh yeah, Yuri, let's go into space and repair the ship, because you know when two people do that, two people are required to do that, and you know we're together. Yeah, Gina. Bye bye. See ya. Remnan, oh, I need to escape. I need to escape. That smile, that face, I've seen it before. It's scary. Yeah, little dictator, you're about to get a pipe put through you.
Oh my gosh, bro. And there's something so beautiful about how the way all the characters die, because they closely resemble their like most famous deaths in the narrative, right? Like Gina goes out into space, Sha Ming also is floating out into space. I'm pretty sure Jonas just gets like, what's the word for it? Does he get frozen? I'm pretty sure he got frozen. SQ? By the way, Kukrushka did that to their own clone. Just impaled her on a spike. Rakio straight down face ruined. That peacock motif is not cooking anymore. It was just so brutal.
All right, man. I know you're struggling over there. Well, you should be struggling more. You got the number one. What you got?
Okay. Anybody here who knows me knows I do have a lot of biases about this show. They know I love themes. They know I love it when people do like show vulnerability and things like that. And since Soren said a full episode, I'm gonna say a full episode too. All of episode 12. Everything Gina, right? Right down from her immediately revealing as Gnosia and being uncomfortable with Gnosia to telling Yuri to like make sure that she gets put into cold sleep to even her being like, oh, if you should do something, you should do it with the same amount of seriousness as if you're jumping off a massive tower. Essentially saying you should be willing to do this even if you die, right? Everything about this episode, from beginning to end, is a beautiful showcase of extreme empathy, humanism, transhumanism, and also just the willingness to overcome like bad situations, right?
And even if he didn't say it, I'm gonna expose it for him. He did love that shower scene. I'm just saying.
And I did love the shower scene. Gina is beautiful, dog. I think as as we go further in, the thing that really sold this as the best possible like episode for me, best possible scene, was when Gina outright betrays her Genosha allies. And then when the ship immediately goes into an asteroid field, she escapes to go fix that and says, Levi, turn on the support drones. There's no more Genosha in the ship anymore, right? And she lets go. When we first reviewed the episode, I told everybody that that was my favorite scene in the whole game, right? By far. I never thought I could love anybody more than Gina in that moment, or any more scene more than that. But they elevate it in the game by having Yuri go out and attempt to like self-sacrifice with her, right? So that she doesn't have to die alone.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah, I can't fault you for having this as your number one. Honestly, seeing our number one and number two, and between our number one and number twos, like the three most represented and well fleshed out and developed characters with a lot of drama and like integral to the story. And not only that, they just have very like heart-wrenching moments are in fact SQ, Setsu, and Gina. Like you follow them heavily. They are shown a lot. Each of them have their own dedicated episode to them. Like we know who the favorites are. And it's right there out there for you to see. That there's no ifs, ands, or buts. I'm sorry for all of you lovers of the other characters. I mean, that's fine, but you ain't on Setsu's level. You ain't on Gina's level. You ain't on SQ's level. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I feel bad for like all the not Comet fans, Chippy fans, all two of you, right? Mario Tomei fans, they're probably a little bit left in the dust. And then I think Remnan is just a victim, my guys.
Who?
Poor Remnan.
Who?
Yeah, exactly.
Who?
The guy that got carried by Rakio all those times.
Exactly. Nah, but it was fun. It was fun. Just looking back on the anime and just remembering everything that was seen, told, and heard. I loved it.
No, and this is just our top 10, right? There's so many more moments throughout all 21 episodes where beautiful things happen and great things happen and funny things happen. It was really hard to choose, but it's a treasure trove of good things. And I hope everybody else has like a crazy diverse top 10 like we did.
Speaking of, put your top 10 in the comments down below. Let us know your top 10 and we can trash it as well. Nah, we
Yes, sir.
will.
We will be judging in the chat.
Nah, we will trash it. We'll just see what y'all got and talk about it and all that other fine stuff. With that being said, y'all, hope all of you have a good day, night, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world. And I hope your day is just a little bit better than it already is. With that, we'll catch y'all in the next anime episode, whichever one that will be. Peace.
See y'all later.